Moyo wayoyoma kipenzi changara na kuyanza
nikikutazama moyo wayoyoma kipenzi changara na kuyanza.
Kweli toto si toto.
Unajua tumeingia kwa mood.
It's Valentine's, yo. It's Valentine's. Ni kesho imefika.
Ni kesho.
How you guys? How are you guys doing? Wow. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We are so glad that you could join us today. Well, haujaenda ulikuwa umeenda conference. Why are you still here?
Hawajanilipa. Nilingoja hiyo cheki yao, hawajanilipa. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on YouTube at E_squared TV. My name is MC Awikide.
And my name is Josephine. We are so happy for you, for your company. And please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we are live on E_squared TV. Join us. We want to hear from you guys, what your plans are for Valentine's. We also want to engage in a very interesting topic as we started last week. So, yeah, keep it here and find out what we are going to be talking about as the show progresses.
Yeah, na unakaa fiti Josephine.
Hey,
inaonekana hii mwezi umeanza usikule pesa sana. Hii mwezi ni ile mwezi ya kutoa. But ladies and gentlemen, not forgetting these amazing people. Yani, these are our resident band, Black Boy Band.
Yes, they do an amazing job. Right there, as we were starting, they were doing a rendition of Heart the Bands, setting us into the Valentine's mood. I hope you guys, wherever you're watching us from, pia nyinyi mnaingia kwa hiyo mood mdogo. Wengine wameanza you know, already people have taken others out. People are sijui in Vasha, watu wameenda.
Kuna mali kesho unaenda nini?
Well, I'm waiting for the surprise.
Wewe lazima ungoje?
Mimi nangoja surprise. Niko na surprise yangu lakini nangoja yangu ifike kwanza. Sasa sijui wewe umepanga aje?
Hakuna kitu nimepanga. Kesho niko mtaa na kanisa. Kesho naenda kanisa. Kesho narauka church. Kesho yani lazima tufanye morning prayers.
Okay.
Asubuhi maombi ya
Wow. Yeah. You can still celebrate Valentine's. I mean, you won't be in church the whole day. So you're better half. I hope you're watching wherever you are. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we have an exciting show lined up for you guys today.
Yes.
Amazing ladies in the house for entertainment, and we also have a very serious conversation coming up on today's show. You don't want to miss that.
And today, Manzelo, tuko na surprise guest. Atakuwa anakuja hapa hivi. We'll be telling you more about that.
A surprise guest host. Yes.
Yeah, not forget host. By the way, host. A beautiful lady. Oh my goodness. It's the ladies edition.
Yeah. So today we are spreading the love.
Okay, mmenieka hapa juu ya hizi maneno zangu, si ndio?
See, you know, unakaribisha mgeni. You just don't leave the house, you know. You have to welcome the guest and then
unaenda.
Uende umtafutie kitu ya kukula. Anyway, so today we have a very interesting did you know fact for you guys.
Did you know?
We have a very interesting did you know fact.
Yeah.
You want to go? You want to
no.
try it out?
Me,
hizo vitu ni majina ni refu sana.
Yeah, but we'll try.
So anyway, on our did you know today, we have a very interesting fact. So there's a phobia. Do you know there are people who actually fear beautiful women?
Is it for women to women or men to women?
It goes both ways. People generally fear beautiful women. And there's a phobia for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's called gynophobia. Gyne. not gyna with an A, but with an E, gynophobia.
Gynophobia.
Yes. That's our did you know fact for the day. So today you've gotten more educated
Yes.
on E squared.
Yes. Did you know men like us, we don't fear any beautiful woman. We will never fear any beautiful woman. In fact, wacha nitakuwa nakuja kwa hiyo story.
Sawa, tushasema.
Yes. So right about now, can we start the show? We
Yes,
introduce
we
the
can.
beautiful lady
Yes,
right
we
now.
can.
Sindio? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the ladies edition, and this is how we do it. Live on YouTube at E_squared TV. Me and Josephine, allow us to introduce the queen, the beautiful lady, and also our guest host today. Show some love for
Jean, karibu sana.
Yeah.
An amazing,
Hebu
amazing lady.
Unajua ndio kwa maana sipendi hao watu, unajua wakishakunywa chai wanasahau.
Karibu sana Jean.
Simamia here. I can leave right now.
Yes,
Or
you can hand over the mic.
It's the ladies. You know these things.
You can
man.
join us if you want to join
No,
us.
I can't.
Hatukufuuzi.
I can't join you.
We are
guys.
not chasing
Thank you so
you.
much. You're welcome. Sindio? All the best.
Oh, hi guys. Hey.
Karibu sana Jean. Yeah, salimia mafans wako nyumbani wondering who is this Jean. Unaweza introduce so that we get this show rolling.
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Jean Hasudi. I am the guest host for today, and I'm glad to be here. I'm so excited for the show.
Yeah.
We have amazing guests coming up. A beautiful show ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's see what we have. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I love the energy that you've come with here. You're just spreading it this side.
Yeah.
This is the first time you're hosting something
First time.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to
A
be a
bit
breeze.
nervous, but then
It's
check
gonna
this
be a
off.
breeze. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
tukiwa hapa wawili tutapatiana moyo. But anyway, it's so glad to have you join us for today's show. We are so happy to have a new face on E Squared. It's been a while, actually, since I think you're the first guest host we've had. So
Ooh.
the privilege is all yours. Anyway,
okay.
Jean, before we start introducing guests, we would like to know who is Jean and what do you do?
Okay. So I do so many things.
Yeah.
So many things. But then let me say I'm a model, first of all. I am also
Then we should have just put some music for you to strut this. Okay, yeah. You're.
I am also a pharmacy student at the University of Nairobi.
Yeah.
I am the founder and coordinator of an organization called SEHICA, which
SEHICA.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
stands for Sexual Health Campaign,
Okay.
which basically educates young girls and women, generally women, on matters to do with sexual health. So from young girls talking about menstruation, donating pads, to expectant women and talking about what you should do during the whole pregnancy period. Yeah. Amongst other things.
Wow.
It's a list. Yeah.
It's the list. It's the whole list of things that you do.
Yeah.
And you're so young, and you're already taking so many responsibilities. So big up to you, and you're doing such an amazing job. We'll get to hear more about what you're doing as the show progresses. But ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Jean. And yeah, by sharing your comments, your feedbacks, telling her karibu. We're going to be reading out those comments from the comment section hapo chini. And while
It's
you're
3
at
o'clock.
it, please subscribe to E_squared. Subscribe. Kuna kabela hapo chini. Please just subscribe it. And
comment.
And comments. Yes, we want to hear from you guys. I always keep saying that when we are on this other side, we feel like we are just talking to the camera. So when you comment, when you talk to us, when you share your feedback, we feel like we're not talking to ourselves, Yeah, so your comments, your questions, any kind of feedback that you have keeps us going. So, yeah, Jean, I'm so excited to have a new co-host.
Thank you very much for having me here. Yeah.
But yeah, let's start the show. And without further ado, I want to let's invite NIMU. NIMU is our guest artist today, and she has a beautiful voice. I think you heard her voice when you came in, yeah? So NIMU is going to be here, and Jean is going to have the honors to talk to her after her performance, and then we'll be back as we also find out more about what Jean does. So karibu sana NIMU. Karibu.
Close to you is where I wanna be more, and I can deny the love that you have given me. And they don't know much you mean into my life, 'cause you're the one, you make me feel happy, you make me feel alive, some kind of type of way I can live my forevermore, baby. The kind of pain I felt before is all over. I thought I had enough of love, cannot give up my love. Give me my love, my love, my love. Give me my love. Close to you is where I wanna be more, and I can deny the love that you have given me. And baby, know much you mean into my life, 'cause you're the one, you make me feel happy, you make me feel alive, some kind of type of way. The kind of pain I felt before is all over. I thought I had enough of it, can I give up my love? Give me my love, my love, my love. Give me my love, my love. Oh, you're the one I want. You make me feel happy, you make me feel alive. Oh, you're the one I want. You make me feel happy, you make me feel alive. Close to you is where I wanna be more, and I can deny the love that you have given me. And they don't know much you mean into my life, 'cause you're the one I want. You make me feel happy, you make me feel alive, some kind of type of way I can live mine forevermore, baby. The kind of pain I felt before is all over. I thought I had enough of love, can I give up my love? Give me my love, my love, my love. Give me my love, my love. 'Cause you're the one I want. You make me feel happy, you make me feel alive. 'Cause you're the one I want. You make me feel happy, you make me feel alive. Oh, baby, yeah, unanikosha. Bingi wa mapenzi wenikosha. Na tena, oh baby, unanitosha. Oh, I'm gonna be your lover. Kila siku munipatie, you be coming over. Kila siku munipatie, baby, na daily. Oh, baby, daily. Nitakupenda tu, baby.
The kind of pain I felt before is all over. I thought I had enough of love. Can I give up my love? Give me my love. Yeah, yeah. My love. Give me my love. Yeah. My love.
Nimo Nimo. That was a very beautiful song.
Thank
Gosh,
you.
we are entering Valentine's already, in the mood of Valentine's.
Yes.
Wow, such a
you.
beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And you look nice as well. Wow. Anyway, so Nimo, tell what are your names in full?
Grace Wairimu Washira.
Yes, Warimo Washira.
Yes.
Oh, wow. You look so nice.
you.
So tell us about your music career. Did you always want to become a musician? Is it something that from the very beginning you knew this is what I want to do?
Yeah, when I was little, like 6 years, I could sing to my
Yeah.
mom, and she told me, now you have a voice. You should try singing. And then when I was in high school, I
Yeah.
wrote my first song. It was called Jehovah.
Uh-huh.
But when I reached Form 4, I gave up
Oh.
and decided, like, I won't sing anymore. It's not even helping.
Mhm.
No one is there to support me. Actually, my family, at that time, my dad
Yeah.
didn't know even I was singing.
For
Nobody knew I was singing.
Yeah.
Actually, my sister was the one who knew that I was singing. But came around 2018. That's when I wrote my first song, Mud. It's because of the experience I went through. So I decided to go to my producer. So I was in a lot of pain that
Yeah.
time. So I went to him and I told him, like, I have this feeling that I want to write a song. And he said that I like to help you and I will help you write your first song. And he produced it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you had a producer.
Yeah.
For young girls out there who don't have access to such people, what will your advice be to them?
Well,
yeah.
well,
do they, sorry.
Well, people are there. They're willing to help. I can say that because actually the one who showed me is my friend. Because when I almost gave up in music, he's the one who encouraged me that never give up.
Yeah.
You have the voice. You should try it. So producers are there. They're willing to help. I can say that they're willing to help. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about the song you just performed right now.
Mad Love.
Yeah.
Well, Mad Love. I was in love. Let me say I was in love. So this guy had showed me some love that maybe I thought that this is the best love I could ever have.
Yeah.
So that's when I started singing Mad Love, and then I wrote that song. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
So what advice would you give to young students out there who feel like they can give up in their journey because they don't have support or because they don't believe in themselves? What sort of advice would you give to them?
Well, never give up. You never know what's tomorrow. And I always say, whenever God is there,
Yeah.
pray to him and he will listen. Because whenever you go on your knees and pray to God, he will listen. He never closes his ears. He's always there and he will listen. So never give up on your dreams and what you want to become in future. Yeah.
Who are some of the people you look up to in the music industry? In Kenya and globally?
In Kenya, I would say Nadia Mukami.
I like Nadia.
Yeah, she inspires me. She has a great voice,
Yeah.
and I like her so much. Yeah. Other countries, Ariana Grande, I look up to her. Yeah, her voice is amazing. Actually, I wanted ever to sing like her
Yeah.
once.
You sound better.
Thank you.
You sound better.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And before you joined the music industry, what are some of your expectations? What did you expect the music industry to be?
Well, I expected it to be easy. Like when you get into music industry, you'll have somebody to lift you up. You'll have maybe gigs to go to perform.
Yeah.
Well,
I came to realize that you have to go through steps in order to get the place you want. Yeah.
Actually, so on that, what are some of the challenges you have faced in the music industry?
Okay, to me, like, like, support.
Support. Yeah.
Because everyone needs support. Because if you don't have support and people who want to listen to your music, support is the main thing. I usually say support is the main thing because, like, for me, I almost gave up on it because of my sister. She used to tell me, you should not sing the song, sing gospel. And then my heart is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, love songs.
Okay, again, side note, what does your sister think about you right now, now that you've started the music journey?
Well, I don't think she's happy about it, but this is me. This is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what my heart wants, and nobody can change it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What next? What should we expect from you?
Well, I can say more music is coming. I'm supposed to release a video tomorrow, Mad Love. Yeah, so you should be expecting it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Let me get some of the comments we have on our YouTube channel. Some of our charts. Okay, seems I'm not getting that right now. Okay.
But as you continue getting the, I had a few maybe questions for NIMU. I didn't get your full name.
Grace Wairimu.
Oh, Grace Wairimu. So
Yeah.
NIMU is from Wairimu. Yeah. Okay, got it. But how is your experience in this industry generally? I didn't get your full picture. Like as a girl, how has your experience been so far?
Well, it's been tough for me.
Yeah.
Especially when sometimes I'm in the studio and I'm the only girl. So it's like tense for me when I'm singing. And then they do encourage me a lot.
Yeah.
But it's been challenging because I'm alone there.
Yeah, I
there are
know.
no girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any experiences, like we have had artists, lady artists, female artists who have claimed that they get sexually harassed when they go to record their music? Has that happened to you at any one point? And if it hasn't happened to you, if it were to happen, how would you go about?
It has never happened to me yet, but okay.
But you've had those stories.
Yeah, I've had those stories before.
Yeah.
But
do they scare you?
A lot.
As a female artist?
Yeah, a lot. Because I would say if I was in my place, I don't think I would go back there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to the police or something. Yeah, and report the case because that's very bad.
But many female artists, they claim that it's usually the passion is burning them so bad, and wanakuanga wamekwa in a box. Unajipata you're in a situation, you can't remove yourself from a situation, so it becomes a mess. Yani.
Yeah.
I know in an ideal situation you'd want to say, mi siwezi fanya hizo vitu kama hizo, I can't tell myself, but others just find themselves in such a situation. What would you say to girls who probably have found themselves in such situations? How would you maneuver that? Kuna watu wanasemanga wewe kasi mziki, hakuna kitu ingine nafanya hii maisha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, sometimes you say it's all about music. Well, others say it's not all about music.
Yeah.
But there are other things to do there, out there.
Yeah.
If you have maybe acting and those kind of stuff, you can do it. Because it's fear. I know they fear a lot.
Yeah.
Because even if it was in my place, I would fear. But it happens.
Yeah.
This is our world. It happens. But I don't have to tell them to accept the situation, but find a way.
Yeah.
Not to accept the situation.
There's always a way out.
Yeah, there's
somehow.
always a way out.
But do you feel that as a female artist, do you have mentors to walk you this journey and to also talk to you about some of these things? in the music industry? Do you feel like you have access to people who can walk you?
Well, for me, I don't have. So, but what I do, for me, I just put God first in everything I do. When it comes to music, when it comes to something I want to do, I always put God first because He's everything. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know whether you've gotten the questions, feedback, that we have on our YouTube.
I think maybe just to add the question, are there things you feel like the government could assist young artists like you in?
Yeah, like supporting us because we have talent.
Yeah.
People out there have talent, and we need someone to come and help us to move on, to never lose hope in this music industry. Yes.
So when you say support, what type of support do you need?
Like when there are gigs, we need kind of support. Producers, there are few producers in this country. Yeah.
Okay. Just one more follow-up question on that.
Yeah.
I've heard of stories of musicians performing in gigs and not getting paid by the event organizers. Has that happened to you? Is it a common occurrence in the music industry?
Well, it has never happened to me yet. Yeah,
Okay.
because I've never gotten an opportunity to perform in a big crowd yet.
You will. You will.
Amen to that.
So let me just read some of the comments we have. Such a lovely vibe, NIMU.
Thank you.
Someone is saying wakunywe. You look really nice.
Thank you.
Shout out to NIMU. 3 love hearts. NIMU anaimba poa sana.
Asante.
NIMU with the golden voice.
Thank you.
Oh, someone is asking, what are some of the lessons you have learned in the industry? I think just repeat the question if they didn't get to hear your answers. What are some of the lessons you've learned in the industry?
Well, keep on pushing. Never give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe that maybe one day, one time, it might not be now,
Yeah.
but maybe one time, I'll be there.
Okay. Thank
Yes.
you. Do you have any more questions? Thank you very much. You've been
Thank
a
you.
very, very lovely guest. So inspiring. And I hope for viewers outside there, you are inspired and you get to pursue whatever you want to pursue because NIMU has encouraged you all.
Yes.
So we have one more performance. Let's
Yes.
hear you.
Okay.
Light the stage up.
Thank you. It's NIMU, yeah. Why did you have to leave me alone? It seems so lonely and it feels so. Every day I think about you and I think that you're gonna be home. That's why every day I think about you makes me feel slow. Stop right there, I know you're mad, 'cause I really wanted you to be there with me. Stop right there, I know you're mad, 'cause I really wanted you to be there with me. Why should I stay? No, I have to go. Why should I stay? When it always goes wrong. It's true today. It's hard to find. Why should I stay? When it always goes wrong. Hey, why did you have to leave me alone? It seems so lonely and it feels cold. Every day I think about you and I think that you come be home. That's why every day I think about you makes me feel so. Stop right there, I know you're mad, 'cause I really wanted you to be there with me. Stop right there, I know you're mad, 'cause I really wanted you to be there with me. Whoa, yeah. Why, yeah, yeah.
Before I let you go, did you share where you can find your music? Have you put it out there anywhere? Not yet. So we hold our horses. It's coming, yeah?
Hold your horses.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to let you go before having this small conversation. Just a very little. I'll just take very little of your time. This week and last week, actually this whole month, we have been talking about menstrual health. Menstrual health, menstrual hygiene, and what I would like to know, can you remember your very first time that you had your menses? What was that experience like? Were you in school, primary school, high school? Were you scared? Were you anxious? Did you know what was happening? Like, how was that experience like?
Actually, is when I had finished my KCPE.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I remember it was on a Monday.
Yeah.
So, and I went to my sister and I told her, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
And then she told me, don't worry. Something is, you're growing up.
You're becoming a
You're
woman.
becoming a woman.
Yeah.
So it was a bit scary for me because I didn't know what's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a scary experience.
Very scary.
You only had, you said you talked to your sister.
Yeah.
Did it ever occur to you to have a conversation with, if you have a brother or your dad, did it ever occur to you to have such a conversation with them?
No. I was afraid even to talk to my dad about it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Okay, I would ask myself, now how would I start this conversation?
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for me. So I went directly to my sister because I knew she knew like everything. So I went directly to her and told her like everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And going for, do you have friends or have you had people have menstrual, talking about their menses with their dads, with their brothers? Have you ever had such an experience? Have you ever
Once.
had someone talking about that?
Yes, once when I was in high school,
Yeah?
I had a girl saying that she used to tell her dad, and the dad used to bring pads at school.
Yeah.
So I was asking her, how did you even start? Because it's even hard. Even
Yeah.
when I go to the supermarket to buy pads, it was very hard. So I used to hide myself.
Yeah.
And then my dad used to ask me, are you not taking this? How did you even know?
Oh, so your dad wasn't, like shying away from,
Yeah.
yeah?
He used to ask me,
Mm-hmm.
so you're not picking this one? I'm like, no, I just forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So it was scared, but he knew.
But your conversation inaishia tu hapo.
Inaisha tu hapo, just kwa nataka iendelee, juu ikiendelea,
Yeah.
hapana.
And have you ever had any challenges accessing sanitary towels, any sanitary products, ever since you started having your periods at any one point?
Yes, once when I was in Form 4,
Mm-hmm.
and it was time for KCSE,
Yeah.
and that time you can't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Some friends maybe, not everyone liked me in school. Let's
Yeah.
say liked me,
Yeah.
but it was hard when you
Was it due to a financial constraint? What was the
from
problem?
where I came from.
Okay.
Because kuna ile wanasema we ni wa ushago, mi ni wa Nairobi. So it was like that. So
Yeah.
mi mtu wa ushago unaangaliwa hapana.
Yeah.
Si mtu wa Nairobi. So it was so hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I managed
Yeah.
because that time I went and talked to the secretary and she helped me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, this month we are talking about menstrual health, menstrual hygiene, and this is such a serious topic that I don't think gets enough attention. It really does not get enough attention, and that is why we are having, we are shedding the spotlight on this topic for this whole month. And yeah, as we spread the love to our wonderful girls and ladies all over the world. So thank you so much, NIMU.
Thank you too.
I hope to see you somewhere shining in the spotlight.
Amen.
And maybe like, I know this girl. I know her from when she was starting.
Yeah, thank
so
you.
all the best. And
Thank you.
yeah, keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
The
Thank you so
sky
much.
is not even the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Karibu
And
sana.
thank you so much for having me.
We loved having you
Thank
here
you.
on E Squared. So
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
come back when you're ready to launch an album, to launch a single. The platform is always here.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Sawa. Thank you so much. And I want to invite my co-host once more, Jean. And guys, continue joining us on our platform. And also follow us on our Instagram handles. We are E_square TV. We are on Facebook at Island's Expressions, and we are also on Twitter, E_square TV. Find us across all those channels, platforms, and we are also on our YouTube channel. Actually, we are live now, so send us your comments, send us your feedback, send us any ukiwa na wazo lolote, what you want to send us, just list it down there on the comment section. We're going to read it live. So, ndio muamini, we are live.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how was your experience like?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Your first interview, yeah,
So
on air.
a bit shaky at the beginning, but then it was okay.
Yeah,
You go with the flow.
you go with
It
the
was okay.
flow, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, no anxiety whatsoever.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get the hang of it as by the time the show is ending,
Yeah.
you'll be shining more than I'm shining right now. Yeah? You'll be shining more than me.
Yeah.
And I've been the one who has been here. Anyway, so as we continue finding out more about Eugene, you talked about working under women's sexual and reproductive health.
Yeah.
And as I've mentioned, we are talking about menstrual health.
Yeah.
This whole month, we are shedding a light on that topic. And I don't think these are conversations that we have, as often as they need to, to be had.
Definitely.
What has shaped your young? Like, why have you found yourself in this field? There must have been a story there. Yeah?
So I come from a community, I come from Kakamega, and there have been many stories of young girls getting married to border men. Or young girls sleeping with border men,
Yeah.
so that they can get money to buy pads.
And it's not just in Kakamega. I
Yeah.
mean, it's even happening here in Nairobi.
Definitely,
lot.
It is
Yeah.
happening.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's the millennial age. I don't want to put the whole millennial on it, but then I feel like we are all responsible for our communities.
Yeah.
I didn't have a personal experience of menstruation,
Yeah.
like a bad menstrual experience. I didn't.
Yeah.
But then I feel like it's our responsibility to make our communities better.
Mhm.
And seeing so many sad stories happening to young girls on a topic that shouldn't even be debated upon. I mean, we should be having we should be having free pads.
I
We
know.
should be having, or if they're not free, they should be affordable for
Mhm.
the girls.
For everyone.
Yeah, for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that they have to go to such extreme extents so that they can stop menstruation,
Yeah.
or so that they can get access to pads.
Mhm.
So that was my motivation towards starting Sehika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so far, what have you seen the impact on the ground with what you're doing with those girls and women?
It has helped. For example, I have worked with several other organizations that were donating pads, but then for Sehika, we have done one major project. So for the project, we distributed pads to a group of 14 girls from a high school in Kakamega.
Mhm.
And the pads were lasting them 1 year and a half, so 18 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it has helped them because I got really incredible feedback,
Mhm.
especially from the parents. I didn't really expect that much gratitude.
Yeah.
It means it really was bugging them.
It
It was
does.
something that was very necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also affects their education in one way or another. So I'm sure even as you talked to these girls, what were their thoughts about, or how did they accept this help from you guys? Because it affects their education
Yeah.
when they're in school.
So, but how I actually got to get to the girls
Mhm.
was that I talked to the principal. So I knew if you are coming from a needy background, then definitely pads won't be on your priority list.
Yeah.
It means you're using
They're
something
the
else.
last thing.
Yeah. That's thing you're thinking about. So I got the names from children who are coming from not so well backgrounds.
Mhm.
And then, so that's how I got to recognize them. And then I talked to their parents
Yeah.
to see if it's something that they accept. Like
Yeah.
it's something that they feel is
It's necessary.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They were very grateful. Someone actually prayed, literally prayed. So it's
Aw.
something that they were looking for. And even after I had donated the pads, I've got calls from these parents asking me when I'm doing the next donation, or if I can help their neighbors or other children apart from the children I helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, such stories.
Yeah.
These are the things that keep motivating us to do what we are doing, to find if we can find people who can help donate sanitary towels, even to your organization, to spread, even further, not just those 14 girls. I know we can help. You can help so much more.
Yeah.
So many more women, Uko, Ushago.
Yeah.
And even here in Nairobi,
Even in Nairobi.
there are so many ladies who need our help in this particular front. And, well, I hope the policy that was introduced launched by the government last year will help, make these products more accessible, because that's what that policy is talking about, that it's supposed to make these sanitary products more accessible to everyone, and for everyone to have the right information. Because I think information is also what is lacking on the ground.
Yeah.
That's why these girls go to sleep around with Buddha guys to get, information. Information is power.
Yeah.
So, and in line with this conversation, we had Mtaani section this month or this week, and we were in Buruburu. So we are going to watch that video and listen to what they had to say. Keep your comments coming. And we want to hear much more from you guys. So take a look at this. All right.
Welcome to Squad Mtaani. I'm Daphne, your host. Today we are talking about menstrual health, and joined in this conversation are these beautiful ladies who are going to introduce themselves. So welcome.
Thank you. Hey guys, my name is Jean. I am the founder of SABA, which is a sexual health campaign that does several talks on menstrual health to high school girls. And I'm glad to be here.
My name is Martha. Of late I've been doing a project of donating always to slum kids, and I'm glad to be here.
Hi guys, I'm Wamboy Catherine. I'm running an initiative that helps kids living with HIV. I'm glad to join this conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, so today speaking about menstrual health. Can we talk about how bad the issue is, the menstrual health issue is? Yeah, I'll start with you, Jean.
Not so many people can be able to comprehend what's going on. For instance, you heard of those girls who are sleeping with men, border men, so that they can get money to buy the pads, because the families can't afford to buy the pads. You've also heard of myths of people who think that if they get pregnant, then they'll avoid the whole menstruation period. It's a topic that has come with a lot of shame, and not so many people want to have a conversation about it. And in as much as we're having so many people donate pads, we're not really sitting down to educate men that this is what happens.
Talking about it, whatever Jean has said, on one hand, I have menstruation, and on the other hand, I have condoms. I have sex. Let me say sex. You give me condom on this hand, I decide whether to use it or not. Yeah. On the other hand, menstruation is a must. It's not something I will have to decide if I want it or not. Then, to the government, why should you sell to me always and give me condoms for free? It doesn't make any sense.
But even with condom, we were there.
The thing is,
we were there with condom.
Most awareness is about HIV and AIDS, so everybody is aware of HIV.
But kids are growing day and night.
Yes, they are growing day and
night. We are
night.
supposed to educate the community each and every day.
Yes.
The same way you're supposed to do it on menstrual health.
I feel like in the campaign to make pads more accessible, we shouldn't completely disregard what HIV and AIDS advocates have done, because they fought the government for quite a number of years to make condoms more accessible to people, to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS. It was a means to create awareness and for people to just wear the condoms to prevent the spread of HIV and AIDS. When having the conversation, we shouldn't completely bash the whole idea of condoms. We shouldn't actually bring the condoms up, because it's a completely different topic. It's about HIV and AIDS, and this is about menstrual health. Both of them we should have free pads, the same way we have free condoms.
Talking about dysmenorrhea, which is actually that extreme pain. And some people actually think that thing is normal.
Hey, we have gone through that.
Can you tell us the experience? Your experience?
My experience is the worst. To a point of, sometimes I don't even go to work. There's nothing I can do for myself. Like, I sleep on floor. And I have to look for a cold one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't even stand on my own. Kizunguzungu.
Yeah.
Because I am losing a lot of blood. And on the other hand, I have the pains. So I end up sleeping the whole day, the whole night. I can't even go to work. I can't even cook for myself. Sometimes I even sleep empty because I'm alone in the house. So no one to cook for me. I can't even go downstairs to get something to eat because I'm in pain. It's the worst moment ever. If there's something that can be done to take away the pain, hey, mine should be the first one.
I think you can actually see a gynecologist. It's something that's treatable. It can be treated.
Hey, show me one.
So the thing is, how many girls out there
And I
are
think
going
it's-
through that?
Yeah.
And then how many schools principals actually factor in that girls go through
Few.
that? Yeah.
Definitely.
Because at some point you can go to school and your menses, and when you're sleeping in class, the teacher will be like, ulikuja shule kusoma ama kulala? Toka uende nyumbani. Ama ulete
Sometimes it's
mzazi.
even cold and it's a
Yeah,
hot day.
yeah.
Ama ulete mzazi. Ama at some point you're even punished.
Yeah.
The teacher doesn't understand. Atakwambia, that's something that's normal. So you're supposed to get used to it. Even me, I go through the same. So I don't know what's the problem. I don't know, like, why teachers are so rude.
I think the fact that boys are not alike, we
Yeah.
should educate the community and everyone about it. I think when it happens to you, it doesn't happen to me.
Definitely.
So I can say as if you are pretending or such. So we need to educate people about it. And the fact that you've spoken about it, people should raise that agenda.
My understanding of dysmenorrhea is, I think, contraction of the uterus wall, or something like that. So it's not normal pain. So you're supposed to actually see a specialist for it to be treated. But then I had, in worst case scenarios, it could be endometriosis causing the dysmenorrhea, or it could be fibroids. Yeah. Do you guys think that men are involved enough in issues to do with menstrual health?
I think some of the men are. Like King Kaka is doing this too.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know that.
So some of the men, but not men fully are involved in it.
I also think some men, there's a proportion of men that is involved in the conversation, and there's that is not. I think it goes down again to value systems, or like how the men were brought up in their particular families. So again, addressing maybe parents to talk to like both the boy and the girl about menstrual health, and also in schools to teach boys and girls equally about the topic, and also people who are donating pads to schools to involve boys in that particular topic, not isolating the girls. Yeah.
Do you think that to some extent the reason why the government hasn't looked at this as a major issue is because of men, in quotes, not having full awareness or having knowledge about the severity of this situation?
Definitely. And I also feel like somehow voices of women have been suppressed to not loudly speak about the issue. Because it's a lot. There's a lot of things involved during the entire period. We should have had free pads by now.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some suppression of advocacy amongst women. We're not speaking loudly enough, or we're not smart enough on how to approach these particular issues. You talked about how to make this more sustainable, and they talked about having free pads or donations. I feel like Africa depends a lot on donations, and we're getting nowhere. Even us donating pads shouldn't be something that we want to do 10 years from now. We should create systems where people sustain themselves. So if we could have probably, for the last time, enough donor funding to have an industry that will provide pads
Yeah.
or that will train women to actually sew the pads themselves, then that is a better approach than relying on donations 10 years from now.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being part of this conversation. Thanks for your contribution. As you can see, there's so much to contribute into this conversation on menstrual health. And you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You can contribute onto this conversation. Leave your comments below. Tell us your suggestions. Also join in on the conversation, your contribution on this. I'm your host, Daphne, and see you next time on Squad Mtaani.
On menstrual health, and you have done an amazing job with those girls. And yes, these are conversations, bold conversations that we ought to be having. And you guys have raised very crucial points, which we'll discuss. I am joined by Daktari here, Dr. Berry Ambani. He's a doctor at Nairobi Women's Hospital, and he's here to help us understand some of the conditions that have been mentioned in that mtaani that we've talked, that you guys have watched, and some others that we also do, that weren't mentioned in the mtaani that we can also shed light here on, so that people can understand generally what we are talking about, and have a clear picture of what menstruation is and what we mean when we say menstrual health and hygiene. So karibu sana daktari.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for honoring our invite to come to E Squared and have this conversation. I mean, we don't have so many men talking about menstrual health, and these are bold conversations that need to happen, and more so from the male members of our society, to destigmatize the whole issue. So karibu sana, and thank you. As we start this conversation, there's a condition that has been mentioned here, dysmenorrhea. I hope I've pronounced it well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It has been mentioned in passing, so maybe that is a good place that we can start this conversation. What is dysmenorrhea?
Well, dysmenorrhea basically means pain when you're having your menses. So for a lady, when they're having painful menses, that is considered dysmenorrhea.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is there a point that ever reaches that dysmenorrhea becomes fatal or can cause life-threatening problems?
Dysmenorrhea itself, it happens, sometimes we have what we call primary dysmenorrhea and secondary dysmenorrhea. So primary dysmenorrhea essentially means that the painful menses have no known particular cause. Most of the time you find it's because the uterus, where the shedding of the blood happens, is producing a lot of prostaglandins, which are involved in
Just
causing...
hold your mic up.
Yeah, prostaglandins, which are involved in causing contraction of the uterus, and that makes it more painful because the contraction is a lot because of excessive prostaglandins.
When we talk, before we go to the secondary one, when we talk about that pain, is it the normal pain that every other person has, or it's, there are times when, obviously, when you're having periods, you'll have the contraction and everything, so you'll feel some discomfort and cramps. And so when you talk about dysmenorrhea, is it like excessive pain or just the normal pain which we all undergo when we're going through our menses?
Now, it's just pain.
Okay.
The issue is pain varies among individuals.
Okay.
Yeah, you can grade your pain at 10 when someone can grade it at 5 or 1. So it depends. But just painful menses is considered dysmenorrhea.
Okay.
So the degree varies depending on how much or what is causing it, like I said. Yeah, so that is why I can't really say that there is a mark on how much pain
Yeah.
is considered dysmenorrhea.
Okay.
Yep.
You were talking about primary and the secondary.
Yeah. I've talked about primary, and now secondary means the dysmenorrhea itself is happening because there is a particular cause that is making this person have very painful periods. The most common ones are, especially in the young ladies, you find maybe they have some infections within their reproductive tract.
Yeah.
That can cause them to have pain. Sometimes they could be having excessive endometrial tissue. Endometrium is the inner lining of the uterus, and that is what is shed every month for ladies during the menstruation.
Yeah.
So when it's excessive, either you have what we call endometriosis. That means that either the excess endometrial tissue has gone deep inside the uterus, causing adenomyosis, or it's happening elsewhere in the body. That's ectopic endometriosis. So that in itself also causes dysmenorrhea, among other causes of painful menses. Yeah.
Okay. I know a lot of us we know about endometriosis, and I think we actually understood more of what endometriosis is when we saw the journalist Jambi Koikai going through this, and she documented her whole journey, and it has been such a painful journey for her. And I think that's when a lot of people came into the realization that, wow, okay, menstruation can be such a serious issue, and it brought, this topic to another level. So yeah, the endometriosis, maybe you can break it down in something very, for the layman to understand. So what is endometriosis, and how can I tell that I have endometriosis and not just kawaida pain?
Endometriosis, as I said, means that the uterine lining, the internal uterine lining, is found in areas that it is not supposed to be found. So it could be found within the uterine tissue, what I was calling adenomyosis, and any other place within the body. You've mentioned the journalist Njambi, hers I think was found within the lungs.
Yeah, it was
so
the lungs.
Whichever tissue of the body it is found, that is what is called endometriosis. It is not found within the uterus where it is supposed to be found.
Yeah. When we listened to her story, she said that all through her life she used to have painful menses, but she didn't think it was something serious. She thought it's just what everyone else faces. And I think that is something that a lot of girls are going through, and they don't know that they would be having endo.
Yeah,
I think now that's my worry. How do you know that this is not just
normal?
Yeah, normal.
Now, to first know the abnormal, it's important to know the normal.
Yeah.
So normal, again, varies among individuals.
Yeah.
Because, the hormonal setup of each lady is a bit different.
And we have different thresholds for pain. Yeah.
Yes. So normal menstruation means it's just vaginal bleeding that occurs at least every month to complete the monthly cycle for a lady. And if for any reason it is not happening, that means either the periods are coming excessively painful, or they are heavy. All those aberrations in the normal menstruation should be considered for evaluation to know whether you're having endometriosis.
Okay.
Yeah, so any excessive painful periods, heavy periods that are coming within your cycle. You think you've finished your periods, but you see again some bit of
coming
bleeding.
again. Yeah.
So all that has to be evaluated so that you can know whether you're having endometriosis or any other abnormality within the menstruation cycle.
Okay. Another question that we often hear, or sentiments that we often hear, is people saying contraceptives normally cause painful periods. Is that true?
Well, yes and no, because contraceptives themselves, basically it depends, again, which type. There are quite a lot.
Yeah.
And especially the hormonal ones, you find we have either those that are have one hormone that is progesterone only, and there are those that are both estrogen and progesterone. So when and that's why you've had combined oral pills. That's how they commonly refer to.
Yeah.
So if you're taking the combined ones, you're having both estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen tends to increase the mass of the internal lining of the uterus, the endometrium. So obviously, if you're having that, most likely you'll be having a bit of heavy periods in the first few months of starting to use the contraceptives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just the first few months.
Yeah, in the first few months.
Until your body gets used to it.
Yeah. So that's how it happens. So I cannot really say the cause excessively painful, but in the first few months, yes, either pain or heavy bleeding, or bleeding that keeps coming and going, what you're calling intermenstrual bleeding. So you finish your periods, after a few days, again, you see some bit of spotting.
Yeah.
Then again, then your periods come, again, a few of spotting after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how, because your body is trying to adjust to these exogenous hormones.
Okay. All right. Another concern that I have also read, I don't know whether it's a belief or a myth. We want to destigmatize this whole thing about menstruation. And I have heard a lot of ladies say that you can't get pregnant when you're on your menses. And there are some quarters that believe that that's possible. How is that possible when you're shedding? And people say that, where I got pregnant when I was on my periods. How is that even possible?
When you are on your periods, it's hardly possible to get pregnant.
Oh, wow. Okay, hardly.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you selecting your words. Yeah. What word should I use over here?
Hardly possible, because the issue here is during your cycle, the first day of menstruation is considered the first day of your cycle.
Yeah.
Then you're in inner lining of the uterus. Then there's a feedback mechanism for the hormones. Now again, the estrogen starts to be produced. There are certain hormones which are produced from the brain, the pituitary gland in the brain, which trigger the ovary to produce estrogen and progesterone. So in the first phase of your period, you'll find estrogen is being produced more. It tends to increase the mass, as I was saying, of the endometrium, the inner lining of the uterus.
Yeah.
At that point, there's a surge of a certain hormone called luteinizing hormone, which helps to make you now have an ovulation.
Yeah.
Because now at the ovary, there's a certain follicle that is considered a dominant follicle, that during ovulation, it ruptures for you to have to release the egg that essentially should meet the sperm at the time you're ovulating for you to get pregnant. So you see, this happens way back during ovulation. That's when the egg is being released.
Yeah.
And that is the time we say you're unsafe, because you can easily get pregnant when the egg is viable.
Yeah.
And the egg remains viable in your system for about 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
After that, now it goes down. If fertilization does not occur, it becomes non-viable. And then the hormones again change. The estrogen continues to prepare the uterus for implantation.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't occur because fertilization has not occurred, they go down. So when those hormones go down, that's what happens, and then you start having a menstruation.
Okay.
You shed the inner lining of the uterus.
Yeah.
So no, you can't be pregnant in an ideal, a normal setting of menstruation. You can't. Now, unless you are having those what you are calling intermenstrual bleeding, you see, because of hormonal variations during your periods, you think you are having a period, but it's just basically
spotty. Okay.
And then maybe during that time you're also ovulating, so you think you got pregnant because at that time you're having a period, but it's not true.
Okay. So that's the difference. Okay. Let me get back to our Facebook family, our YouTube family. Thank you guys for your comments. Thank you for your feedback. I can see somebody saying, I think these were comments that were sent when NIMU was on stage. Brad anasema sauti ya kutoa nyoka pangoni. Asante sana Brad. Maureen anasema hi bestie, amekusikia. Great voice. Ben Bernardi anasema say hi to NIMU. Amesalimika, nimemtumia salamu zake. Liz is saying, we hope sanitary products to be normalized just to save girls from these struggles, because there's nothing we can do about menses. It's part of our lives. So true, very, very true, Liz, and thank you so much for watching. But this is why we're having these conversations. You know, we need to open these spaces for more of these bold conversations to happen. Rebecca is saying, beautiful conversation. Thank you, Rebecca. She's saying she's learning a lot. Thank you. Liz is asking, what happens when you miss your periods over like 3 months and you are not pregnant?
So if you've had your periods before, and then at some point you miss your periods, there are a number of factors to consider. One, because periods are usually controlled by, as I started off by saying, hormonal variations within the female system. The culprit hormones are estrogen, progesterone, that are produced from the ovary, and then we have two hormones produced from the pituitary gland in the brain, called follicle-stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. So if there's a problem with that cycle, you'll definitely miss your periods. Or if you've used maybe contraceptives, there are those which will suppress ovulation and then they'll alter the normal mechanism, feedback mechanism of the hormones, and then your periods will also tend to go away. Sometimes the other factors that can contribute are if someone has stress, depression, certain severe illnesses, they can also always cause a stress to the system, and then your periods tend to go. So those are the common factors that make your periods to disappear after you've already had them before.
Do certain conditions like cancer cause, can they cause your periods to also be affected?
Now, depending. If you are talking cancer within the reproductive system, definitely. If the cancer is elsewhere, not within the female reproductive system, then importantly you have to consider fact of medications that are being used to treat this cancer, either the radiotherapy, chemotherapy. All those medications can maybe try and alter that. Or patients inner self, maybe they are stressed. Because you know how cancer is, it's a chronic illness, takes a toll on people. That tends to cause depression, and then will also lead to altered normal periods.
Okay. As I continue trying to see, I hope, please, your question was answered. Ian is saying, this information about menstruation has been kept from men. Don't we think it's something everyone should know about? Actually, he's preempting my question. I was about to ask you, do you feel like in our society we are having more men have this kind of knowledge with them? Why do we feel like, isn't he, she does our mama, and we brush off that topic so fast?
Yeah, I think the boy child has to
It's 4 o'clock.
boy child has to try up and help out the ladies. Yeah, it's important because we interact with ladies every day. We have mothers, we have girlfriends, wives. It's important to know what they are going through and help them. Now, so I cannot say this information has been kept from men, or maybe men are keeping themselves from the information. Maybe egg and chicken. I don't know which one comes.
I think it's
Yeah. So it's just being proactive for the men. I'll urge my fellow men out there. It's important to be involved with the ladies, and also the ladies. When you're having a period, don't just say, "Stop, come, I have my period," and that's all. Let the man also know what you're going through, how long it's happening, because there are those periods that are abnormal. You're bleeding for more than 7 days. You're having heavy bleedings within a day. Support system is important, because if you're not told that this is bad, this is excessive, and you should go on to a hospital, get assessed, and know why the period is heavy, or your periods are not coming, tell your spouse, or if you're good with your brother, tell them. Let them also know how these things are happening, how the ladies are going through problems, so that we can all work as a team to end this myth of menstruation being a girl thing and a boys thing.
Yeah,
because we love them ladies, so it's important them to feel them.
Show the love all
Yeah.
through, not just
True.
in one aspect or the other.
Yeah.
Brad is saying, okay, let me hope I'm not missing any conversation. Okay, Brad is asking, is it okay to be taking painkillers when you're feeling pain during your period?
Now, depends which painkillers you're talking about. And yes, there's no harm taking the painkillers if the pain is a lot. If you can't bear the pain, yes, get some painkiller, but have a prescription, because you can take other painkillers which can hurt you. They can, like especially the non-steroidal drugs, brufen, aspirin. They are good. They'll help you with the pain, but maybe they can cause other problems within you. So just get a prescription.
Oh,
you'll
wow.
be good.
Some of us know how to self-prescribe. Like, unaenda pale unaitisha Buscopan Plus and whatever. So that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
okay.
talk to a doctor.
Mhm.
Let them know you're having the pain, and then if you have no other problem, yes, it's okay to get the painkiller.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't have to withstand pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it can be crazy painful. Major Genge, hey, Major Niaje, he's saying naona show, nice one. Salute to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I hope umeleta mafans pia watu join. Rebecca is asking, what is the best sanitary method to use between pads and tampons?
Tricky.
From a medical perspective, you can shed your light on that.
Tampons are okay. Basically, they're both okay. We say tampons will tend to absorb more, and then you'll be good. So whichever way you go, so long as they do not cause you other harm. Yeah, so tampons, pads, both are okay, preferably tampons.
All right, and as we are on that topic on tampons, I know there's a condition that...
Sorry?
There's a condition that one can get if they have the pad on for too long, the tampon on for too long, and they forget about it. I cannot remember the term for it, but it's dangerous to have it for long. Like, you know, there are people who even forget that wameva tampon. So even when you're wearing that tampon, you also need to remember to change it as frequently as you can. I know there's a I cannot remember what that condition is, but I don't know whether...
Not certain what you're trying to refer to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something, if it moves up to your uterus, it can cause some problems or something that
now,
can...
Yeah, any foreign object, you shouldn't have it in for long. Because this tampon is soaking your blood.
Yeah.
And as it's soaking, and you're keeping it there,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just blood that you're shedding.
Yeah.
There are other cells, tissues from your uterus,
Mm-hmm.
and this can easily attract bacterial infection because, your vaginal tract also has some bacteria.
Yeah.
So has some fungus. So if you don't get it out, you might have some very bad
Infections.
Yeah, so just always remember to get that tampon out.
Yeah, girls, please remember to always change those tampons as often as you can. They can lead to bacteria infections and other infections that can cause some medical issues. Wow, questions are coming in fast. All right, Carol is saying, it comes a time in a month when the cramps are really painful. You take painkillers, but they don't help to a point that one cannot really do anything. What really causes this, and is it a case of concern? I think we had touched on this, but
yeah, if
you can brush
the
it over.
painkillers are not working, just go to hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, let the doctors assess. Maybe there's something else because maybe they have fibroids, maybe you have what we talked about, endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
So if the pain is too much, painkillers are not working, do not overdose the painkillers, go to hospital.
Yeah. You've mentioned a new term. What are fibroids? I might know what fibroids are, but there's a viewer somewhere who doesn't understand what fibroids are.
They are sort of, let me just call them growth that happens on the uterus. They could happen inside, within the muscular layer, or on the coverings of the uterus. That is what we call a fibroid. And when they're there, they can always cause pain because as the uterus is trying to contract to shed off the blood, there is something impeding that contraction, and that means excessive force, and that means so much pain.
The pain. What causes them?
Most of them are actually hormonal associated. You'll find estrogen is one of the culprit hormones that are associated with fibroids.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why you see it's common among highly reproductive ladies. It tends to wear off in ladies who are post-menopausal or later, above 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Keep your questions coming, guys. We are totally enjoying your company. We are enjoying that you find this conversation helpful. And Rebecca is asking, is it true that menstrual cramps disappear after giving birth? Yeah, we had that a lot when we were growing up, by the way. So it's a myth.
Yeah, it's I can call a myth. The reason why some studies are saying that is because after you've delivered, the prostaglandins tend to, because of the tissue that you've let go of during that time, they tend to go down. But it's not factual that after delivery they'll go away. No, it may still happen.
All right, Rebecca, I hope umejibiwa hapo. Michael is asking, he's saying many girls take the morning after pill every time after sex, after the act. These two are considered as contraceptives. How frequently should one use them? Let me hold the mic for you. All right, guys, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you for your questions. It's getting hot in here, eh?
Yeah, it's getting hot.
Yeah, it's getting hot. Yeah, so, the morning after pill, how frequently should one use them?
As infrequent as possible. Yeah, you don't want to have morning after pill every time you're having unprotected sex.
Yeah,
it's not good because they are hormonal, and they can tend to also alter the normal flow of your hormonal cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you find either your periods are also getting longer to come, or they're getting shorter to come, or you're having bleeding within your periods. Yeah, so do not use them frequently. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Jean is asking, would you really encourage the use of reusable pads to normal pads on the basis of which is more hygienic? I think her question is when you think of hygiene, reusable pads or the disposable ones?
I'd rather disposable ones. Yeah. So reusable, you never know. If you've completely eliminated whatever was still there. Yeah, and just to make sure that hygiene is maintained, there's no infection that you're transmitting to yourself. So I'd rather disposable ones.
Yeah.
I know there's an issue with sanitary pads, and I heard you say initially they need to be free, yes.
Yeah.
So that they can be available to all and sundry.
Yeah.
Girls in urban areas will find maybe yes, girls are sorted, but what about in the rural areas?
Exactly.
Yeah. So policy issues in the government. So.
Well, there's a policy that was launched last year, so I hope it's gonna, solve these issues that we are talking about. Brad is saying, asking, what is the best thing to do when you are in pain during your period instead of taking painkillers?
Instead of taking painkillers.
Yeah.
Well, there are other what I can call non-pharmacological interventions where girls have been advised to massage.
Yeah.
You can use even warm water to massage around your
the hot water bottles.
Yes. That tends to help.
Yeah.
Also get away the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, if you do not burn yourself, do not use very hot water for that. So they tend to help. Okay.
MJ Mwangi is saying, say hi to Daktari. Makona mafans hapa. But thank you guys for your questions. Really, really insightful questions. And before I let you go, Daktari, we started this conversation by talking about the medical conditions, endometriosis, adenomyosis, and all those conditions that are caused by menses. Are they treatable, or how do you go about treating these conditions?
So they're quite treatable, if you've already identified what is causing this abnormal menstruation, because there are varieties of abnormal menstruation. Either you're having heavy periods, either you're having very little period, either you're having periods that are coming and going. We call that intermenstrual. Yeah, they come heavy. Next week you're having, the other week they're gone. The other week you're having.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once the cause has been determined, you've been evaluated clearly, whether it's the hormones that are inadequate, or maybe there's an issue with the ovary in terms of production of other hormones, or there's an issue with the uterus in terms of the structure. So once it has been determined the cause, then of course doctors, especially gynecologists, can also tend to work and get away around it.
Okay.
Yep.
Why was Jambi's issue so, I mean, she has gone through so many surgeries. Why was it so complicated?
The lungs are a very critical area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it had spread too much.
Yeah, yeah. You're having endometrial tissue in the lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. You have to make sure, as much as you're getting it out, you're not getting too much of the lungs out, because the lungs help you to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why it's a big issue. And at the same time, it's producing, apart from the periods, it's growing in terms of the tissues. The hormones are stimulating it every time.
Yeah.
So you're trying to move it, and stimulation makes it
growing.
again grow. So that's why it's a tricky issue. And endometriosis is really cumbersome to manage.
All right. Well, our mafans hawataki kukuachilia. Liz is asking, speaking about hormonal contraceptives, would you say coil is the best to use, just not to tamper with the hormones?
So for the coil, we have also hormonal coils. Yeah, the one is commonly referred to as Mirena. But yes, we have copper T, which is non-hormonal. If you don't want to interfere with your hormones, yes, that one can really serve you well. Of course, each and every contraceptive method has its own pros and cons. Yeah.
All right. I hope you're satisfied, Liz. Kasim anasema nice, Daktari. Asante sana Kasim for watching. Brad is saying, is it okay not to change a pad after 8 hours as a result of your pad not being full?
Come again?
Is it okay not to change a pad after 8 hours as a result of your pad not being full?
First of all, big up Kasim. It's my guy. If it's not full, you don't have to keep it there until the next day for it to be full. Just get it out. Change, put another one in.
Plus 8
For
hours.
hygiene.
8 hours is too long to have a pad.
Hygiene.
Yeah, hygiene. Carol is saying, what causes spotting for a whole week during menstruation?
Like I said, spotting is basically very little bleeding. It's coming from a uterus lining. So it could be happening. So if she has asked during menstruation.
Yes, during menstruation.
So you're having spotting only and not the. That essentially means you're menstruating.
But
only that you're not getting the normal volume that you expect for yourself. So hormonal issues again, they're always standing. If you're on any contraceptive, because of especially the combined pills, they tend to block ovulation. So there's the menstruation becomes erratic. Sometimes it comes a lot, sometimes it comes little. So it's because of that. Hormonal variations are the common cause of that.
Okay. I hope. She has clarified. She was saying just having spotting, and I think you've answered that question. Leah anasema, hey, namesake, big up Nimo Oh, okay. Leah, thank you so much for watching. Nimo amekusalimia pia, amepata salamu zako. But thank you guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for that feedback. It's been a really insightful conversation here with Daktari. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for, addressing these issues. These conversations, I think, need to continue. Just from the comments we have seen here, guys are really curious, and a lot of misinformation is out there. So the more we continue sharing this information, the more our girls are able to know what is happening to their bodies, and even the boy child.
This is good, by the way, what you're doing.
Thank you.
Causing awareness to the ladies and even the boys out there. We need this more often.
Yeah.
Let's talk about health more often.
Yeah.
So that at least we do not have people out there in their families getting sick.
And shying
stressed.
away.
Yeah, some of them fail to come to class. Some of them fail to shop at work because of this menstruation. It's an issue. Boys need to help the ladies.
Yeah.
And let's all be healthy.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Daktari, for coming. And as always, thank you for sharing your energy, your positivity, and also all the information that you've shared here. And yeah, endelea kusaidia watu huko nje.
Asante, tutaendelea.
Okay. And as we continue this discussion, I want to call back my co-hosts. And as we release Daktari, so Jean, karibu sana. Thank you so much, Daktari.
Asante.
Yeah. Karibu sana, Jean. Wherever you are from, I hope you are listening to this conversation. Thank you guys for your feedback. Oh, we have totally enjoyed hearing from you guys.
That was so insightful.
Yeah.
Very, very insightful. I've learned a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was here asking, but I'm like, oh, in my head, it's going like, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You know, we think that we know what is happening with our bodies, even as these are issues that happen to us.
Yeah.
But every minute he was talking about something, I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that, you know. So, yeah, what was your takeaway from?
So many things. Literally, I didn't know a lot of the things.
Yeah.
So I can't really say like one particular thing was a takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, there's so much information Dr. Berry has shared. And Gloria is saying, thanks, Dr. Berry. Good insights on menstrual health. Totally. Thank you so much, Gloria. Yes, we've totally gotten a lot of insights. And yeah, I also want to hear from you guys what you guys thought of Jean. She's also coming here again for another interview, yeah? She's also going to do another interview here. This is her first time on air. So please show some love on our comment section. We are going to read them. And also what you guys think of her co-hosting with me today. I will totally love to hear what you guys have to say. So what's coming up next?
We're having a poet, lovely poet called ELSIE. She's going to perform a wonderful piece, and I can't wait. Yeah.
Okay. But before the poet comes, we normally do this thing segment that is called Bust a Move. So this is where we also incorporate dancers, because this is a creative space, yeah. So since the dancers can't come here, we go to them. So this segment is called Bust a Move. Check out where we went this week.
Okay.
What's up and welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Bust a Move with me, Pinches the Entertainer. And today I'm hanging out with this very talented lady that tutakuwa interact naye any minute from now. So keep it glued to your screens. Now for all the dancers that are watching, remember after this the challenge is still on. Sindio? Twende kazi. Let's get it. Yeah.
Stairs,
Excuse me. Si Bible ilisema, before I was formed in my mother's womb, he knew me before I was born. He consecrated me to be a special person someday. So just like you, history yangu ilianza hapo kitambo kidogo, but no one saw this. It happened in me, in my dreams, and I fear the memes. So I let my fears take over the last years. Maybe I spared my tears. That will have happened instead of cheers. And I was not there to go and check on my destiny, so I stayed here for I couldn't hear the backlashes. Nobody's gonna give you the attention. Everyone's intention is discrimination and never inspiration. Ndo maana alisema alilearn tactic mpya kuangalia juu akitell sad stories so that her tears won't fall on her cheeks, no instead they should fall on her stomach. Akasema tena, don't ask her why she has stomach ulcers. I've seen more caring souls covered in tattoos and never in rosaries, beggars begging buckets, never in church kids. They know where to find generous souls. It's so sad how we live for people today. How I wish I'd go back to childhood when I expressed my feelings genuinely. When I smile and I think you came from the bottom of my heart. When I'd address my parents who walked with torn clothes in public. They were all I had. When I'd jump for God during praise sessions. It didn't matter who was watching. When I'd get up each morning, prepare myself, go to church, not because anyone was attending. I knew I was serving a living God. When I wouldn't be forced to smile when I was bitter, and that picture was better that way. Labda ndo maana Shinsky apologized for he couldn't please you all, you who see humility as a weakness, you who see love as a waste of emotions and hate as wealth, you who see pride as paramount. Sijui mliona wapi ego ikipay bills. Juzi niliona qualified DJ akiuza food kwa streets only to meet his needs. His deeds wapiwa. Najua si wengi mnaweza fanya hivyo, na najua haitawahi stick into our heads that we can never meet these people's expectations. Even if you lay flat for them to pass, they still complain you are not flat enough. I'm sorry if I personally don't meet your expectations. For a son of a nomad I am. From milk and blood I was brought up. From milk and blood I was brought up. A house made of cow dung I sheltered, shookers of blue and red I wrapped myself in. On skin I laid my body to rest each night, waiting for dawn so that I could take the heart down the hill, only to come back with bruises and cuts from grass. It didn't matter whether my legs looked like a map. What mattered was the smile on my parents' face. They bore an offspring they could call theirs, a responsible child, I'd say.
Wow. So deep, Elsie.
Thank you.
Wow, could you please take us through what inspired you to write that piece?
What inspired me to write that piece is we are living in a world where everybody wants to be the next person. Everybody wants to live life that is pleasing the next person. We don't want to be ourselves. Yeah, we are not ourselves, in short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we pretend to be something on the outwards, but in the inward, we are different people. We are something else. Yeah, the saying that goes, a happy generation with very messy and very painful inner stories. Yeah.
Very heartwarming, very heartwarming. So first, before we get to know you, Elsie, I just want to thank Patricia for the new dance move, and I hope you viewers at home did practice the dances. So let's get to know you, Elsie. Did you want to become a poet when you were small? Is it something that has been in you since far back?
Actually, about poetry, I can say that I wanted to be a poet since I was young. No, what I have always wanted to be since I was young is be my story to inspire someone somewhere. You know, I never knew that it was poetry that would be talking to people, yeah, inspiring people. I never knew that until this time in high school. I used to write, write and keep them to myself.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't want to talk to people, but only the pen could help you get occupied, you know. Yeah. So I can't say that it is something that I started when I was young, no. Yeah.
So could you please tell us what inspires you to write the poems? How is your writing process like? Like, what event happens and then makes you feel like I need to write this down? And then how do you begin writing? And how long does it take you to write the entire poem?
Okay, what really inspires me to write? You know, we pass through a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own journey, right?
Yeah.
The good thing about me, when I was in high school back then, used to be a good listener. I'd listen to people's stories.
Yeah.
Then that was this person explaining their story to me, you know. So maybe I can put it on paper. Someone else is going through the same, you know.
Yeah.
And after putting it on paper, when you write the whole story, the painful part, you give hope. Okay? When you give hope, it is not that one person that you're giving hope. Some few other lives, you're giving hope to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, about writing, it's incredibly weird because I can just wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. The situation. Okay, after being told.
Hello, all you beautiful people in Nairobi, Kenya. I have been designed by the social enterprise RAAJ. The mission at RAAJ is to use the power of tech to engage with all. Thank you so much for joining. Periods are a normal human process that happens to everybody in a certain community.
So when I am at peace with myself, concentrated fully, I can write. Yeah, I can write.
How long have you been writing?
This is the second year.
Second year.
Yeah.
And how's the journey so far?
It is nice because back then in school, people will tell me, will someone ELSIE come do this for us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in as much as people don't, you know, in our today's life, not many people really appreciate poetry because poetry doesn't have like hype thing to dance along, you know.
Yeah.
It is for you to listen and internalize what is this person saying.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this person is saying a certain problem and a solution, giving hope, you know. Yeah, so not many people really accept poetry, yes, but some people do because, again,
yeah. Do you have some poets you look up to?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Could you like share
the names of the poets?
Yeah.
I look up to Kwikare, Mufasa. Yeah.
I like Mufasa.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a good one, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Are there any lessons you've learned that you'd want to share to the audience?
Lessons about
you've learned through the journey of poetry since you began 2 years ago?
Yeah. Patience. You need to be patient and admit that when you admit that not everybody is going to accept what you're doing. Yeah, and when you put it in your mind that not everybody comes to you with a positive mindset. Yeah, that is what will keep you going. What will keep you moving, because people be like, you're doing poetry, seriously, as in you should shift.
Yeah.
Do something. If you still want to be in the industry, just move, you know? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't know if you've heard of very inspiring poem by Amanda Gorman. She performed during the inauguration of President Biden in the US, and I found it very inspiring that a poem could touch so many lives in a nation. And I wish the same for you. I hope that your name gets out there and that the beautiful piece you have performed can be listened to a greater audience.
Thank you.
I'll leave you to perform one more piece for us, and I'm really grateful for you to share the same stage as I.
Thank you.
Okay.
If wishes were real, this was not the background I'd pray for. Jusijui na sielewi mbona kila siku tunaumia. Ama ni eti the back of this ground kumejaa miba. Ama we are paying for our deeds, lakini si kila siku tuko na needs. So Hand to mouth is the norm, na heri mimi naelewa juu Brayo na Dayo hawaget history juu hawajui history ya umasikini. Hawaget, mbona hawaendi shule? Why do they have to take one meal a day? Na si ati wana keep fit. Kitu wanajua ni their stomachs are making noise we can't hear. Kama firstborn child nikaamua kuleba, never viewed that as child labor. Door to door kachia wa nyumba 10 nabisha nikitafuta wera. Nisaidieni hata kazi ya kusuguma sufuria nitafanya. Trying to explain to them why I so bad need the job but looks like my noisy silence. So this day, just like the other days, I was walking home depressed. I met up this guy, alikuwa ametoka kubaya maziwa na mandazi, and when he greeted me, habari yako msupa, of course. Staying silent will be rude, so sidhani ni kupoa, and I walked away. Following me from behind, kushu uko sawa? Been looking for a job but looks like I'm the unfortunate. Full of sympathy, akanipeleka kwa site yao, akaongea na foreman. Nikapata kazi ya mkono, and that was enough. How could I stop thanking this man whose face was painted white with cement and his heart coated with gold? Kufanya kazi siku 2-3 mdosi akaingia, and when he spotted me, he said, we were even looking for a house help. Sijui hii ndio ilikuwa nyota ya jahazi waliniokolea jahazi. At least niliafford kubaya nyama, Brayo na Dayo. Wakanyamaza, pia wakaanzia chekechea, wengine wakaacha kuwachekelea. Understanding that I depended on them for survival, he took that for a weakness. He abused me from the corner. I'd cry myself dry each and every day. Till I decided, no, I matter. I opened up to father and mother, didn't know that my words formed lather in their mouths. Nilidhani kinyonga tu ndo ugeuka, lakini I was not their daughter anymore. I was their source of income. Siku 2-3 nikaanza kusikia fani, kumbe huyu player alikuwa my direct ball kwa koti yangu, na sasa niko na ball. Kusho tajiri alininunulia tu tajiri nisiparare. Trying to reason out with him. I don't want to be a murderer, abortion is a crime. He said, I'm sorry but I can't rule my reputation because of your carelessness, so we are terminating it tomorrow. That night when I closed my eyes, nothing was with me. Sleep left me, my heart left me, my spirit left me. But I had a voice not so audible, but I had it all. Mama, no, mama, please don't. How do I explain that I could do nothing to this poor thing? Captive in the mentality that nothing was in my power, I heard the voice again. I don't know how useless my life is, but I can tell how important your sibling's life is. These words cut deep my already wounded heart. Then I decided, I'm not going to make noise anymore because no one listens. Like a thief, I crept away, going to steal my freedom, my unborn's freedom. Thank you. That was deep. That was deep. Oh, okay. I'm speechless. I really am speechless, but that was deep. Thank you, Elsie, for coming. And I hope to see you out there shining. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Is there any platform that we can find your art? On YouTube. On YouTube, yeah. Okay. I go by the name The Poet Melita. Who? The Poet Melita. The Poet Melita. Yeah. Okay. On YouTube. All right. So, guys, there you have it. Hey, watu wamesema yay. Mamoto tu hapa zinatuma. Mark Mwangi is saying, been waiting for this. Elsie, she is a real definition of talent. She is, Mark, she is. Thank you. We are in awe. Continue doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. Ian, aweka tu moto. Elsie, Caroline is saying, good stuff, Elsie. You are doing an amazing job. Mark is saying, how words just flowing with deep messages. You will listen to this spoken word over and over again. So much love to Elsie. Thank you so much. And Jean is saying, beautiful woman, beautiful words. And a beautiful smile. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Elsie, for coming. It was my pleasure. Thank you. And we hope to see you shining out there. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, this way. Karibu sana, Jean. Back to stage. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are shifting gears to
a very interesting conversation that we are going to have. We are joined by a lady called SABA Khalid. She is a social entrepreneur. She's a journalist. She is an activist, a public speaker, and above all, she is the founder of a digital platform called RAAJ. Okay, she is going to correct me on how to pronounce that, but she is joining us all the way from Pakistan. Karibu sana. Welcome, Saba.
Hi everyone. I'm so excited to meet everyone, and it's been such an inspiring session for me to watch from Karachi, Pakistan. It is so important that women talk about this topic, and from all different means. I just saw this amazing poet, and I was so happy that these different forms can be a way to break the taboos and reduce the stigma. So thank you for inviting me today.
You're welcome, and it's so good to see you. Where are you joining us from in Pakistan?
I live in a city of 20 million people. It's called Karachi. It is a business hub. Yeah. It is where I live, and it is the place of many challenges, but also many opportunities and many young, talented people under the age of 30.
Yeah.
So that's where I live.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us from Karachi, Pakistan. I don't know whether you want to chime in.
I just want to get directly into the questions. I can't wait to. I'm glad you're joining us. I know we had a conversation before, and I'm really glad to share that you have accepted to come and share whatever you're doing to us. I'm really excited to have you.
All right. Saba, I don't know if I mentioned the digital platform that you have started, that you have developed. Well, I can't get that name so correctly. Maybe you can tell us what it is.
So my whole social enterprise is called AURAT. AURAT is an Urdu word, and it means women on top, or women leaders, or women rulers. It's very controversial in Pakistan to say that women and men are equal. This is not a concept that is accepted in I would say, a Muslim majority country with a lot of, I would say, issues with the gender equality concept. And my product that is called Raji, you were correct when you spoke about it.
Okay.
Raji is a chatbot, and it uses artificial intelligence to talk to girls about reproductive health, especially menstrual
Hello,
health.
all you beautiful people in Nairobi, Kenya. I have been designed by the social enterprise AURAT.
Okay.
The mission at AURAT is to use the
So she just started talking about her work.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah.
So we've been running some experiments. So Raji is actually available on our website for free. You can utilize. Anyone who is not literate, they can just press some buttons and get some knowledge about menstruation in English and Urdu. And because I last year had the chance to travel to Nairobi and be in the space that you guys are standing, I really want to come back and build in Swahili, build in a way that it's more contextualized to more, I would say, countries. So hopefully we'll get a chance to work with you guys and create a product that can, scale across countries.
That will be fantastic. It's fantastic. Actually, I think it will be really helpful to a lot of girls who need to have this information at their fingertips, because, I mean, as we have actually seen from the discussion we had with the doctor, so many girls need to have a lot more information right under their fingertips to know what is happening to their bodies, where can they access information. So we welcome Raji to Nairobi. I think it will be such an awesome thing to welcome to Nairobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the basis of coming to Kenya, just a question on that. So we don't have so many students having accessibility to mobile phones or laptops so that they can use whatever Raji is offering. Is there a way you can find can you find a way to integrate that into children who can't access electronics or electricity in their homes?
Absolutely. I think with technology, although it brings a lot of opportunities, there's so many people who don't have access. And the situation that you share is absolutely the same in Pakistan. So our rural areas don't have access to technology. And when COVID happened, they did not have any information on COVID. This is the same with menstrual hygiene as well. So, we had to come up with an alternate plan. How do we get this information in the hands of girls? Also, just to add, adolescent girls in the ages of 8 to 15, they have the least amount of knowledge. They have the least amount of digital literacy. So we came up with the concept that, they're lady health workers or community leaders in every rural area. And through Zoom, they had access to Zoom. We actually allowed these women to, understand the topic in total. And then they went and they did neighborhood and door-to-door interventions in their communities. That's how we spread the knowledge using technology, but also not leaving humans behind. Because right now our tech is not equipped. You've just seen it yourself. It's not equipped to handle every problem, every situation. But we have to I also want to add something here that, making sure that technology and its benefits are at least seen by people, that's very important. Let's assume that a class has no school lab where there's a computer. We need to make sure that we, for maybe an hour, take a laptop, set it up, and let girls play around with this particular technology. Because not only does it open their minds to what menstruation is, it opens their minds to what technology and its benefits are. So, I think it tackles two problems at the same time, getting this access to girls.
I'm curious though, why develop this chatbot? What inspired you to go this direction?
So in Pakistan, neither teachers nor parents want to talk about this topic. And when I was growing up, I had a similar situation, and my personally, my grades really were affected because every month, I think 90% of my time was spent praying to God that I don't get my period. I wasn't studying. I wasn't doing well in my exams. I was just like, please don't let this happen. Please don't let anyone discover that I'm going through this, because I actually kind of thought that periods were something that I had caused. Periods were something that I had done to my body and it had just reacted. So I blamed myself so much. So that's why I feel like technology breaks those barriers. It allows girls to say, okay, this is not a scary teacher saying this. This is not a scary parent talking about it. It's something fun, it's engaging, it's technology. So I think it gives a certain amount of engagement, and it makes girls comfortable with the topic from our research and our interventions. We've seen that.
And so far, has it been received by, I don't know, the men in the society?
Yeah, so I was really excited about my technology. I was like, woohoo, I've done such a great thing. And then when I actually took it to schools, you would be surprised how much backlash there was. They were like, why should we do this? This is the parents' job to educate the child. And I was like, are the parents educating children? They're like, no. And I was like, you have this in your curriculum? No. But they're like, they just felt like this was too soon, too early for kids. What if they think this is like, sex education or something? There's always this apprehension towards this topic. But slowly and gradually and working with a lot of, I would say, international networks, and also getting a lot of, I would say, celebration and recognition from global organizations, I think I got the acceptance in Pakistan. Pakistan wasn't ready to allow this technology into their classrooms. But when Germany and the US and all these other countries said, look, this is a great way to engage on this topic, then Pakistan was like, okay, we'll try it maybe in one month. And so we've now been deployed in 5 classrooms. COVID has impacted that, but now we're changing and doing it through lady health workers. We're training them through Raji, and we're also going to do a small experiment with you guys. Fingers crossed that it works, because we'll try to bring her on this particular call and speak to you about a couple of topics.
Okay.
Just a question. So how did you get to raise capital to develop Raji? I know there's so many people who want to do a similar thing, but then don't have access to capital. How are you able to raise capital for Raji?
So, this is such a great question, because female entrepreneurs who either do not get funding for their ideas, and need 2% funding startups or social enterprises goes to women. And out of this 2%, the representation of women like you and me is missing. Maybe it's like a 0.00. So, it's been very hard for me to raise my voice and, get the fund needed. And it's been a, long process. And I think one of the ways that I utilize is that I would share about my passion on social media any way I could, like whether it was through posts or pictures or through Instagram. I would talk about, look, I'm so passionate about this topic. And people saw that, and then they kind of agreed that, okay, let's see what she can build if she's so passionate about it. I started off with a grant, which was $200. This is minuscule for the startup where people raise millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. However, I built a cartoon with it, then I showed what it did, then I took, and slowly and gradually, last year we raised more than $50,000 for our work. So, this has happened over a long time of me campaigning and actively talking about it and doing a lot of the work for other female entrepreneurs, because if I'm able to raise this money, then other girls know that they can raise money for their ideas as well. True. And I also want to add that, do you know that the first person who invented the sanitary napkin, who was she, anybody know?
No. I haven't, no.
This was an African American inventor, and she invented the sanitary napkin. And this is such a proud moment for all women of color, because we are the ones who have started this movement. We have created the product for hygiene. Yeah. Although it's not the but it is a product that's available. Her name is Mary Beatrice, and you guys can look her up. She's a very, very inspiring African American inventor.
All right. Before we invite Raji to talk to us, what kind of impact have you seen since inception on the ground?
Yeah, so there's the aspect of learning new myths and misinformation. Like, for instance, certain foods are forbidden to be touched during the time of your period. I didn't know that. You can't touch this particular food because these are pickles, by the way. Pickles will turn bad if you touch them. Yeah. You can't touch a small baby during your periods, because people assume that you're going to cause harm to that child because you're dirty and impure. Yeah. This is, for me, like it blows my mind, get to hear these through interviews. This is one of the saddest things, that there's a culture in a small community in Pakistan called the RAAJ, and during the time of period, the girls are actually sent away from their homes. They have to live in a small, very livable hut. And this causes them a lot of mental anxiety to be separated, especially when they're 9 or 10 years old. Yeah. This is a practice that continues in Pakistan. So we're also reducing an end to that. So these are some of the different things that we've realized. I also want to add that one of the things that we've realized is that menstrual experiences of certain people, are never discussed. One example for me would be people with disabilities. Yeah. How do people who have, let's say, sight-related disability or muscular or body-related disability, how do they manage their periods to be able to do that? And usually they have a caretaker who manages this period for. And imagine the lack of control when you're already going through a vulnerable experience, and then add to that somebody else has to clean you, put a pad there. It's something that we're learning more and more about, and thinking that how other people and all at the same time resources to teach them about this product, about this process. Yeah. So there's a lot of learning together and through our projects and through our research and advocacy.
Okay, perhaps before we get to see what Raji has to say, are there ways that Raji has developed revenue for itself to keep it sustainable?
Yeah. So we, in Raji's conversation, realized that we could endorse or put positive, sustainable products in its conversations. And this could be a way for us to earn revenue and keep the product running. So we currently endorse a sanitary napkin company which is sustainable and based out of Pakistan. And we've had sponsors from them to continue talking about menstrual hygiene, but also through Raji's conversations, say that if you need a product, this is one product that's available. So this is how we've kind of got sponsorships, corporate sponsorships, as well as paid, advocacy into our chatbot.
Okay. Okay, so maybe we can have a chat with
Hello, all you beautiful
Raji.
people in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm so excited to meet you. My name is Raji. I've been designed by the social enterprise AURAT. The mission at RAAJ is to use the power and skill of tech to engage with audiences around mental health. SABA is the founder of this organization. Hey, SABA, are you there too?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Raji.
Thank you so much for. But in a certain community in Pakistan called the Kalash, girls and women are separated during periods and made to live in small, almost unlivable huts every month. I'm trying to change these myths, misinformation, and challenges girls and women are facing.
That's great, Raji. Good work.
So can we ask Raji a question?
Each month girls will bleed from it. It is important to remember that periods. You can use sanitary pads, menstrual cups, period panties if they are available and affordable for you. But even if you use cloth, it has to be washed properly before you use it.
Right, I have a lot of questions. Do you want
It can physical well-being, infection, or diseases result from of care.
Great, Raji. Keep that.
One word that you periods and by pending.
What's a word you use for periods in Swahili?
We call period in Pakistani languages Sindhi and Urdu. But most days we have trouble even saying those words to us and T.
So I just, for like 10 minutes, quickly put conversation for our audience today. For each particular menstrual hygiene curriculum, we have a different one that's available on our website that you can test out. It doesn't come on Zoom, it's available on our website. You can kind of ask your own questions. That's why I did get a chance to ask Raji questions today. Also wanted to say that we're still building and we're still testing, so there was a couple of problems that happened. I'm really sorry, go as perfectly as planned.
That's okay, Sabi. That's okay. At least we actually go to see Raji in action, and we hope that when you come to Nairobi, it will be ready, and we can feed Raji with Swahili content that she's able to communicate with our
It's
girls.
5 o'clock.
All right, guys. As we continue talking with Sabi, Saba, sorry for that. Let me check for your comments and any kind of feedback that we have. Have you seen anything?
Not yet. I just want to ask, what are some of the lessons you've learned so far in your social entrepreneurship journey and in developing Tarji? And apart from the lessons, failures you've had, and what some of the things you wish you'd had done differently?
One of the areas that I felt I wasted my time on was not believing in myself, not putting my full energy in project, because I always felt, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if everyone doesn't like what I'm building? So much disbelief or lack of faith in myself. I think that was a waste of time. I think even if you fail, you learn something from it. Concept that I think I have continuously practiced. I also had a very limiting mindset about money. So if you're doing for social good, it should be free. It should be available. You should not be, I would say, self-sustainable, or you should not be raising money, or you should. So it took so long to realize that how would I do my work if I don't have the funding and the investment and the belief from other people. So I would say that, find that and find the right partners and people who believe in you and surround yourself with them. The more people who say negative things, and these could be within your family, within your society, within your community, kind of keep them away, because right now you, as somebody who's an entrepreneur or somebody who's doing something which deals with activism, it's a hard journey to have. But if you have people who are believing in you, that's the only way you can push forward. I would say kind of keep all the toxic people away and doing the best job that you can.
Okay, and you mentioned that you faced opposition from men and lack of inception at schools when you initially started. How did you handle the opposition on a personal level? Yeah.
I still face a lot of opposition. So when these pictures of periods for our advocacy, or when we talk about it, when we say sex education or reproductive health education, or show an image of, let's say, the ovaries or reproductive health parts, we get so many messages on our Twitter, oh, what kind of work are you doing? And this is ruining our society, and this should not be open about. So, this continues to this day, but you have to kind of keep yourself away from toxicity. You have to just be like, I'm going to continue doing my work. I think I was very lucky to find the right partner. So we've now worked with UNICEF and UNESCO. They've shared our work. They've given us access to schools. We're now working in rural areas with 2 very large organizations. So when people trust those organizations, they trust us with it. So I think that has been a way for us to kind of deal with the backlash. My family has not been very accepting of my work, but now they're just like, oh, she's not going to stop, so we might as well give up. So now I think they've joined my work in a certain way.
Okay, and what about the government? Have you got any support from the government?
Not yet. That's been the hardest journey, and that will take another few years. Our government is right now, I think, very stretched out in COVID recovery and how to get the economy back to track.
Yeah.
So menstrual hygiene and women's issues are so far from their eyes. They're just like, oh, that can be something we can deal with later. However, this is something we go through even through a pandemic. This is something we go through on a monthly basis. During COVID times, the supply chains for period products were completely ended in urban and rural areas.
Yeah. So
this is something that governments need to realize. Not only is education needed, but access and affordability of the product is also needed, especially during these, I would say, earthquakes and floods that happen in our country very frequently, and pandemics that have now become a new normal for us.
Yeah.
So this is something that the government has to consider. Whether they're willing to work with social enterprises, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is something that will take time.
Speaking of the pandemic, we here in Kenya, we had social organizations providing kids with food, basic items, but we found that even sanitary towels were not a basic need that was provided to these girls. Was it the same in your area, and how has the COVID pandemic impacted girls in the rural areas who did not have access to these products?
Yeah, so when they had a COVID donation pack, and this had all the essentials for all those low income or rural areas, which had food and everything else that was necessary to go through a month when the lockdowns had happened and people's wages were completely cut off. But in that donation box, there was no menstrual product because A, it wasn't available, and B, it wasn't considered a necessity. And there is always one woman or girl in every family, and sometimes in hugely populated countries, there are multiple girls in each family or house. So, this was not a consideration, and this is something that we advocated, we pushed for. However, some people make products and get this across to a lot of girls, but this was not sustainable because, 1 month lockdown on and off in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Know that products are not the most sustainable products. We have to come up with alternatives. We have to be open to other alternatives like menstrual cups or period panties. These have to be accepted by our countries. I wonder, what is the perception of menstrual cup in Kenya? Are women willing to use menstrual cups?
I think it depends on the population, because we have people living in different areas. So I think people are more willing to accept it in urban areas, but in rural areas it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, though there's a lot of organizations going out there educating and empowering women on the use of these things, because they're still seen as foreign products. We're used to tampons, we're used to pads, but menstrual cups, they're actually something new that is being introduced to the society. So it's gaining ground gradually, but it's something that we're yet to see being pushed on a nationwide scale. So it's, baby steps for now.
Absolutely. That's the same. We have a rigidity obsession in Pakistan, and because of that, girls are unwilling to put any. They're afraid that, what will happen or how will it affect their prospects for marriage.
Yeah.
So there's so many cultural aspects to just, healthy menstruation or managing your menstruation.
And I think it's also an issue with a lot of our populations here because of the issue to do with hygiene, access to basic things like water, to clean yourself. So the uptake might not be as fast as we want it to be because of such issues, but well, as I said, baby steps, but it's happening. It's slowly gaining ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know, you have worked with a lot of populations in the rural community. I don't know whether there's any similarity you've seen.
There is, especially also on the virginity part. I think it's hard to explain to a young, maybe say 12-year-old girl to insert a menstrual cup. They won't really understand why should I do this. So you have to go deep into the conversation and say it's okay. So again, getting teachers hearing you tell these girls to insert the menstrual cup inside the inception isn't really as we would like. It's the same issues.
I wanted to also ask about schools that you've been to in rural areas. Of aspirin or newspaper basket for disposal. In sanitary napkin really pollute. And so I don't know whether dustbins are available as in rural areas as much as in urban areas.
Okay, Saba, we lost you a bit there, so please you can go over that again.
I wanted to ask about disposal process. You guys in every classroom in schools, a waste basket or a dustbin, girls can properly dispose, and so that plastic pollution does not continue, does not hamper the environment. Is there education on the sustainability and environmental impact of menstruation?
I remember when we were in school, we used to have, when we had, what are they called? Home science lessons, yeah? We would be taught how to use, there were guys from always used to come to school and teach us how to use the sanitary towels, and then they will bring in the disposable bins where they will install them in schools. I don't know whether that is still happening.
Yeah.
Yes, that happens, but I don't know whether that happens in a lot of the rural areas. But you'll find that most of the urban population, we have sanitary bins in our offices, in our schools, but it's not in totality. It's not in totality. So you go to some schools and they don't have these facilities where they're able to dispose them. They don't know how to dispose their sanitary products. And, well, it's something that I think needs to be addressed seriously, and even figure out whether we have any other mechanisms for recycling such products, instead of just using them and refilling the dump sites with these products.
Although I have seen some schools that are encouraging the girls to throw the used pads in pit latrines. So I feel like schools are actually trying to help dispose the pads. So there is effort in trying to dispose them.
For recycling,
Absolutely.
we haven't heard of any yet. Maybe it's something that's happening, but it's definitely something we need to look into.
Absolutely. That's why all periods have to be studied. The disposal, the information, the accessibility, tackled together.
I am so surprised at the similarities that we are. I mean, you're in Pakistan, all the way in Pakistan, and we're here in Nairobi, and I mean, the girls are facing similar issues. Rural Pakistan is facing similar issues. Rural Kenya is going through, and these bold conversations also don't happen openly here in Kenya as well, because our traditions, Africans generally, we don't talk about these things in public. Mostly the men will be like, this are women issues, let the women deal with them. So it's interesting that we are noticing so many similarities, and figuring out how to bring Raji here will be such a big step in fighting or demystifying this whole menstrual health and hygiene issue.
Absolutely. Something that you said that really resonates with me is that men and boys have to be about this topic so much because they are with women and sometimes add more stress to women's menstruation. They have to be support partners and they have to be educated on.
Sorry, we lost you for a minute there.
Then realize for menstruation, men and boys have just as you part of this advocacy and this campaigning because they are an equal part of our society.
Yeah, it's very crucial to involve the men, the boys, because in some instances you find this. We've had people sharing with us the stories, and they're like their first period, they got so stigmatized because of the boys in school. At that age, they're adolescents, they're scared, they're shy, and once they go out there, the boys realize, oh, she has had her period, so they start laughing at her, and she has to run away from school or stay in one position so that she doesn't stand up. So these conversations, as I feel like if they continue, the more they continue, the more everyone is brought into realization that it's not just a girl's issue. It's something that each and every one of us needs to take active participation in. Yeah.
Having worked with bodies in the United Nations, such as UNESCO, do you see any hope of having free pads to every girl in the world? And why is it why are we still having this conversation of having free or cheap pads to girls across the continent, across the world?
There are countries that are case studies that have made periods as part of the curriculum. However, these are like countries that are already developed. They're very different from us. And we have to also understand the cultural differences between countries like ours and countries like Scotland, where period products are free, New Zealand. Now they are talking about topics like orgasm or female pleasure. And we can't even talk about what our bodies do. We don't even know that. There's a huge disconnect.
Yeah.
So I feel like it will take us a very long time. The world needs a very long time to get to the same place. It is because there's intense inequality between the world right now, and COVID has further, I would say, intensified these inequalities. So I feel that, I don't think in my life I would see these becoming, products completely free in all of rural and urban areas. I think it's a very far dream. However, I think the work has to that future. This is a very long struggle. I would say anybody who's working in advocacy in a developing country, this is a 3-year kind of journey. This is going to be a lifetime of constantly campaigning and activating communities.
Can you hear me now? Is it possible to interact with Raji before we let you go?
I would love to show you, let's see if I can share the screen. If you give me access to share my screen, I can take you through our website where you can chat with Raji through buttons and other ways.
Oh, we can chat? Okay.
Yeah, if you guys could provide me with access to sharing, yeah, I have it. 1 second, give me.
Yes, guys, as we wait for that to be set up, please keep sending your questions, your feedback for SABA. She's joining us all the way from Karachi in Pakistan, and she's developed a chatbot that is helping to empower girls on everything that is women, sexual and reproductive health. And I think it's a really, really amazing tool that she has developed. And I hope that we're going to see her in Nairobi. She hopes that she can bring the chatbot here to Nairobi and see whether we can fill it up with content in Kiswahili, you know?
In vernacular languages.
In vernacular languages too, to help girls in whichever part of the world they are in, or the part of Kenya. So there you go. We have a screen that's being shared
You
to
guys
you.
can see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see
Awesome.
it.
Okay, so initially Raji started off exactly like this.
Yeah.
She looks like a lot of girls in Pakistan from an area in Sindh.
Yeah.
She covers her head and she has her own storyline, her cartoon series. So if I click on her, this will take me to her story in Urdu. And this talks about her starting her period for the first time. This talks about the shame and stigma in classrooms. It talks about the power of talking about this topic. So we hope to take this in Swahili, dub it in Swahili with your support and your help, and take it and set it up in various communities and, you know, share it with others. Now, if you want to talk to her, you can just start off with pressing these buttons, and we designed it in buttons because girls here do not have literacy in.
My name is Raji and I'm very happy to meet you.
So we're going to ask her knowledge on menstruation.
Okay.
I have knowledge about the female body and its health systems. Should I tell you about it? In the female body there is a system called reproductive health system. And because of that, you go through a process called menstruation. Menstruation is a normal process which happens to every girl. During this process you will bleed from your vagina, and this is a sign of a healthy body. I know the following facts about menstruation. It happens to all girls and women. Periods usually last from 3 to 7 days. Periods happen every month after 28 to 35 days. Period blood has a range of colors. Normally it is red or brown. The texture of period blood can be clots, jelly-like, or tissues. It's important to take care of your health during periods. If you want to live a healthy life, then take care of your health. By managing your periods well, you will be at peace mentally and physically. Here are some ways to manage. You can have these symptoms before and after your periods. These are some of the misunderstandings in Pakistan about periods. There is no need to stay away from others or skip school during periods. There is no issue in bathing during your periods. Staying clean is important. You can eat anything during periods. There is nothing wrong with it.
So I can go through maybe an hour of menstrual knowledge, but I thought this was a long enough lesson for us to talk about periods for adolescent girls.
It is so comprehensive. I love it. I love it. And you have broken down that information to the most basic way for everyone to understand. Totally love
Absolutely.
it.
It takes 2 hours to, totally talk about all aspects of it.
Yeah.
This is just 2 minutes, but girls go through this like an actual class of English or science. I think this is a topic that should be exactly like other traditional curriculum topics.
Yeah.
Because this is just as important.
All right, Saba, let me move to the questions. There are people who have asked some questions on our YouTube channel. And the first question from Ian is, how is the government, I think we answered that question, the government's involvement. And someone is saying, Rebecca is saying, great work, Saba. How is the reception of the app in Pakistan? We've answered that question also. Ian is asking, do men in Pakistan have knowledge on menstruation, or is just like here in Kenya?
Yeah, they don't even say the word. This has a huge impact on religious activities that happen. For instance, in the month of Ramadan, we fast. And so when women can't tell their brothers or their fathers that they are going through their periods and cannot fast, they pretend to fast. They pretend in front of the breakfast table or the table when we open the fast that they are also fasting, because they can't even say that to the men in their family that they skipped today. So imagine there's so much silence on this topic. My father does not say that I work on menstruation. He says, oh, she works on health. He doesn't want to even say the word.
Yeah.
The word itself is so, I would say, stigmatized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so sad. I hope that really changes. It's also gradually changing here. We have a few men who are slowly catching on to the trend. We have, in fact, last week, but when we had a health champion he's a guy, and he's the one who goes out to the rural areas and to urban populations that are less disadvantaged to talk to girls about menstrual health and menstrual hygiene, and I really applaud him for that boldness. It's not something that happens on a day-to-day basis here in Kenya as well. So, yeah, we are actually going through similar situations. So we hope this changes. We see the tide lifting. Yeah, I don't know whether you have anything.
I can't wait for you to come to Nairobi and actually personalize whatever Raji is doing. Whenever I'm distributing pads to girls in schools, they usually have so many questions. And sometimes we're given very limited time because they have to go back to their schedule in school. So having Raji there will definitely help ease the whole process of
Absolutely.
padding. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today and for inviting me and allowing me to kind of share some of our work. Thank you so much to the whole team at Eastland Expressions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And even for you having the time to join us, it was such an insightful conversation. And you are such a positive, you have such positivity in you, so we can feel it. We can feel it all the way here. And thank you so much for what you're doing for the girls in Pakistan. And it's phenomenal. You're changing someone's life somewhere. And because of you, a girl will stand in front of an audience one day and will say, because of Saba, I had the confidence to do blah, blah, blah. I became a surgeon. I became a pilot. I became this, because of what you're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're all setting an example for other girls. I hope they follow.
I hope so too.
Good luck with everything, Jean. I love your work, and thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. So guys, I hope you have learned a thing or two from Saba. As I mentioned again, she's a social entrepreneur and an activist. She's also a journalist, and she's the one who has developed that chatbot. It's called Raji, and she's doing an amazing job.
So many odds, defying
so many odds. And she has said from her culture, it's Yani, she's bold. Yeah. She is so bold because we know their culture is very stringent, yeah? And even the fact that she's saying her own dad can't say what she does. Yeah. So you can imagine how many more barriers she's fighting if her own father cannot even mention what she's doing. So Wow.
I think one of the key lessons we've learned in all our performances today and in the interview we've had is
hold your mic close.
Despite the support we've had, I think one of the key lessons you've learned today in all our interviews and all our performances is that despite the lack of support, always push through. It's something that I've seen through in the interviews and also what we've had right now. So push through. Yeah.
And I think, that's it. We do not want to add or subtract anything from this conversation and from this, what we've just had, what we've just watched. This is where we end the show today. And I don't know, what was your experience?
It was great. I have learned a lot. I mean, I was anxious at the beginning.
I know you were so anxious.
But then I've learned so many things. I've got to know. I couldn't formulate these questions at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then I've got to learn so many things from communication itself to the knowledge from the doctors, from the people I've interviewed. It's been a very beautiful experience.
Yeah?
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
We just enjoyed having you. You just brought in some, nice vibes also. You always smiling.
You had vibes.
I always smiling. So we enjoyed having you. Is it something that you would want to do again?
Definitely. I hope you guys invite me again.
Okay.
It's lovely.
We had so much fun. Yeah. And I hope you guys too. I didn't see your comments on what you thought about Jean. So we are waiting for those comments as well. So whether you watch this show today or you watch it once we upload it, please comment down below and tell us how Jean did for her first on-air appearance. Yeah. I think she did a phenomenal job. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
So many people come here and they're sweating buckets, but you did amazing, absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we come to a close to today's show. Wow, it has been a whole lot of entertainment and a whole lot of information. I hope you have learned something new today about your menstrual hygiene and menstrual health. Not mental, menstruation, menstrual health. And this whole month, we are still going to be covering this topic. And if you have any experiences you would love to share with us, please join us or follow us on our platforms. Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, even on our YouTube channel. You can comment and, tell us what you guys have gone through, what your experiences have been. And this lovely lady here also runs an organization. You said it's called Sehika. And she donates sanitary products to girls in Kakamega. So, ladies and gentlemen, we humbly ask if you are willing, please also share your donations with us. You can bring them here to Buruburu. We are in Buruburu, Mesora, Apron Center, 3rd floor. Look for Black Boy Media. This is where we are located. Or you can reach out to her. She's called Jean Kasudi.
Yeah.
And
Sehika also has an Instagram, Sehika_, Twitter, Sehika1.
Sehika? 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can reach out to her or reach out to us, guys, and let us know how you would like to help in this fight on, on menstrual health. Yeah, and this is where we come to end of the show. So, adios, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real. See you next time, Saturday, same time, same place. Bye-bye. Enjoy your Valentine's, guys.